So now we're going to look at question 13 on homework 5. And what they're asking us here is to find the equation of a tangent line to the graph of the following function at the specified point. And they're giving us the function 3x over x squared minus 6. And the point that they're giving us is 3, 3. And that's the x coordinate and that's the y coordinate. Your numbers might be different, but the general idea is going to be the same. If you wind up having trouble with this question, you probably want to go back. If the problem that you're having is finding the derivative here because we need to use the quotient rule, check out the video for question 12. That'll walk you through the quotient rule. If you're having trouble finding the equation of the line using the point-slope formula, or just in general having trouble with this problem other than actually finding the derivative, then you're going to want to look at the video for question 6 because that's going to walk you right through that as well. So let's do this. In order to find the tangent line, we are going to need a slope, and they're giving us a point, but we're going to have to find that slope. And what do we do to find the slope of a tangent line? We take a derivative. So we need f prime of x. And to do this, we're going to need the quotient rule because we've kind of got a function on top and a function on bottom. So we need to use the quotient rule. Just a reminder on the quotient rule. I'm going to write it down here at the bottom so that you remember. Actually, I'll write it right about here. We need the bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. Okay, that's the formula for the quotient rule. And you can remember that this way, or I've taught it in the last video, the video for question 12. You can think of it as low d high minus high d low over low low, and that's going to help you remember that a little bit better. So we need the bottom, in this case that's x squared minus 6 times the derivative of the top. We can use the power rule for this one. That's going to give us a 3. So this is the bottom, this is the derivative of the top, minus the top, that's 3x, times the derivative of the bottom, power rule, that's going to give me 2x, and the constant rule is going to make that be a 0. So that's what we've got going here, and then we put that all over x squared minus 6, and we have to square it because we need the bottom squared. Okay, so what do we need to do now? We've got the derivative, but we need the slope at this point that they've given us, this 3, 3, so we're going to have to plug in the x value into this. I think what I might want to do first is clean it up a little bit. So let me rewrite this down here so that we can clean it up. F prime of x equals x squared minus 6 times 3 minus 3x times 2x over x squared minus 6 squared. Let's do a little distributing here. That's going to give me 3x squared minus 18 minus 6x squared over x squared minus 6 squared, and that is going to give me a negative 3x squared minus 18 over x squared minus 6 squared. Okay, yeah, you can actually see what I'm doing there. Okay, so now that we've got that, we need to plug in, reaching over here, plug in a3 for our x's. So this was f prime of x, and now we need f prime of 3. And that's just because the point that they gave us was 3, 3, and we need to plug in the x value to figure out what the slope is at that point. So that's going to be negative 3 times 3 squared minus 18 divided by 3 squared minus 6 squared. Okay, time for the power of math. We have negative 3 times 9 is going to be negative 27 minus 18 over, let's see, this is 9 minus 6. That's going to give us a 3 in here. Square that. That will give you a 9. So then we have negative 27 minus 18 is going to give us a negative 45 over 9, and the slope then at that point is going to be negative 5. Yes. I had to wonder whether or not my math was correct. So this is the slope, and where, let's see, do they ask you to enter the slope? They don't ask you to enter the slope, but we need that negative 5. This is our slope, and now we need to use that in the point slope formula. Point slope formula, m times x minus x1 equals y minus y1. Well, the slope, that was our m, so we'll plug that in here. That's negative 5 times x minus x1. What was the x that they gave us? It was 3, so let's enter 3 right there. Equals y minus y1. What was the y they gave us? It was a 3. We will enter a 3 here. Okay? Expand a little. Minus 5x plus 15 equals y minus 3. I don't need an equal sign there. Bring the negative 3 over. That's going to be a positive 3. So we wind up with, I can write, negative 5x. 15 plus 3 is 18 equals y. And that is the equation of our line. Y equals negative 5x plus 18. So you would just enter the negative 5x plus 18 into the blank on question number 13 for the homework. But yours is going to be different because you have different numbers, but the process is exactly the same. Let's walk through that again really quickly. We are going to find our derivative of the function they gave us using the quotient rule. Once we have that, we can simplify it a bit so that we can plug things into it. So that's going to be the actual derivative. And when we have the derivative, we need to plug in the first, or the x value that they gave us. That was a 3. Plug that in and solve, and that's going to give you your slope. And then use that slope in the point slope formula. That's going to be your m, and then you'll have x minus the 3 that we had here originally, and then y minus the 3 we had for our original y value. Solve that for y, and you have the equation of your line. If you still have questions, check out question number 12 for help on the product or the quotient rule, or check out number 6 for help on solving these questions about finding equations given a function and a point. And if that still doesn't help, shoot me an email and I will do my best to make it clear for you.